You know, Rwanda is a country that has high altitudes that create specific hills, if I can call them hills, not mountains, and numerous of them. And one of the bigger challenges is that whenever there is rainfall that falls with high density for possibly a short period of time, the water that permeates to the mother rock can easily lock and push the soils downstream, and that's when we realize what we call landslides. And landslides has been a major problem because homes have been washed away, and that has been quite an issue. The other issue is where rivers, because of high levels of erosion, are silted with soils from the highlands, and then the waterways become narrow, and they normally splash off the river banks and cause floods, especially on the river sides, therefore destroying crops and making it hard in terms of food security. Another issue that has been experienced over time are prolonged droughts, especially in the eastern part of Rwanda, where rains are sometimes not as welcoming as expected. That droughts come in and may also cause a shortage of yields, which has also been realized as a problem. So, you know, those are the kind of challenges that we are faced with in Rwanda. Our population is mostly agriculture, small-scale farmers, and they are the ones at the front line of climate change effects. So come floods, they experience it highly. Come droughts, they experience it highly. Come landslides, it's the same issue. And for soil erosion, it has also been the same. I just would say we are faced with such kind of challenges. You know, in the first place, the local communities have not been understanding that we are dealing with climate change. They have been just experiencing such kind of issues, especially hazards that come over time, but without knowing the real causes. They cannot easily define that this is climate change or not. So one of the things we had to do was to do awareness raising, education, to ensure that they understand that climate change is in the house and we are dealing with a huge challenge that is not only a national challenge but also a global challenge. The second thing is building their capacity to see that they can build resilience. You see, we build communities that build resilience, that are able to resist even under circumstances that are harsh. And one of the things that we do is building their capacities. We work with 78 local NGOs. We are a network that brings together 78 local NGOs, and all these 78 local NGOs work at the grassroots level. And so we build the capacities of our local NGOs so that they can equally be able to build the capacities of the local communities, ensuring that they can build resilience and respond to climate change challenges. And one of the things we've been saying is, please try to innovate, try to adapt to the climate challenges that are in place, so that if there are droughts, we can go into small-scale irrigation systems. If there are floods, we need to know where these floods are rampant and get to know the causes and possibly dig ditches. If we see that there are issues of soil erosion, for example, terraces, be it radical or progressive, are supposed to be established on those hill places so that we can tap into resistance towards that erosion. But equally planting trees on the upper hills so that we can break the erosion cycle. So it's such kind of things that we use the communities and be sure that they can even transform the economic setup, livelihoods, and be able to diversify so that we do not only rely on agriculture but also try to see if we can do other things that can respond at a time when agriculture cannot give the right responses that we need from it. Definitely our priorities move with building resilience for our communities. And building resilience means that we are supposed to adapt to climate change challenges. We are supposed to mitigate the greenhouse gas emissions, which are an issue globally. But as you know, Rwanda is not a great emitter, and we do not focus much on that. We focus much on adaptation. We are equally focusing on environmental protection by biodiversity conservation, so that the communities get to understand the reasons as to why they need to keep the environment friendly and be sure that biodiversity is concerned. So we critically believe that this kind of information building capacity of the farmers, building the capacity of the communities, that the youth should be at the forefront, women should be at the forefront, not leaving out any marginalized communities. So we are focusing on marginalized communities so that we build resilience for these marginalized communities, because they are the ones at the forefront of climate change challenges. So that's what we aim at. We are trying to see if we can mobilize resources that can actually respond to these climate change challenges.